Amen. You guys can grab your seats. Who saw the eclipse a few weeks ago? Who was pretty excited by it? I absolutely love this kind of stuff. Maybe you were looking at it through your sun protective goggles, or you built a little machine that meant that you could see the reflection of it. I absolutely love things like that. I'm a little bit obsessed with spacey things, and you're going to see that this morning. And the eclipse kind of gave me feelings of what we're going to talk about today. The series that we've been going through as a church is the songs that we sing. And we've been opening up different songs that we sing here at Lifecentral, pulling out the themes and the meanings behind lots of the words. And the song today that I'm going to be looking at is a song called God, I'm Just Grateful For You by Chandler Moore. And the lyrics to the chorus are this: who am I that you keep me on your mind? God, I'm just grateful for you. And we're going to use these as kind of three subheadings this morning to work through. And so we're going to look at who am I? And who am I is exactly what the solar eclipse made me feel. It made me feel small. It made me feel tiny. It made me feel in awe of the universe. And I thought what I would do is I would give us an idea of the scale of what it takes for an eclipse to happen. Now, Leon told me today there's lots of staff still away. He asked me to keep it simple. What I heard was recreate the solar system in the auditorium. And so that's what we're going to do. I want you to imagine that I have shrunk down the entire earth and all of mankind down to the size of this large marble. Everybody that's ever existed and ever will lives on this little planet here. And at this size, the moon would be about this big. And at this size and scale, it should be around about a meter away. That's how far the moon is from us. And at this scale, the sun would be this size. We have got a beach ball over here that Dan is going to bring out. This would be the size of our sun that we see in the sky sometimes. We've seen a lot of it this summer. And look at the size difference between the moon and the sun. Now, the sun at this size and scale wouldn't be like over here. It needs to be around about 38 meters away. So Dan is going to go to the back corner of the auditorium like a naughty boy, and he is going to hold the sun in the back corner there so we can get an idea of the size and scale of what it takes for an eclipse to happen. I love solar eclipses, and we didn't get a full eclipse here in the UK. We got partial totality, whereas in Portugal and Spain, they got a full solar eclipse where the moon and the sun appear the same size in the sky, and we get this beautiful corona around the moon, and it looks incredible. We got about 95% here in the UK. And Brian Cox, he put it really, really brilliantly, Professor Brian Cox, because he said this: with over 150 moons in the solar system, you might expect to find total solar eclipses elsewhere, but none produce such perfect eclipses as the Earth's moon. I look up and I see a solar eclipse and I go, God is just showing off today. He is showing off because we are the only planet that we're aware of in the universe that gets this kind of eclipse, where the moon and the sun appear the same size. And in fact, Professor Brian Cox went on to explain it in the same BBC programme, and he said this: the sun is 400 times the diameter of the moon, and by sheer coincidence, it's also 400 times further away from the Earth. I love that sheer coincidence. One man's apples is another man's bananas, isn't it? But here's what he's saying. Is the sun, which is at the back of the auditorium there, the sun is 400 times bigger than the moon. But the moon is 400 times closer, so they appear, if I can have Peter, so that they appear the exact same size in our sky. I'm really excited about it. I love science. And what we get is the illusion that they look the same, and so we can focus in, and our moon eclipses the sun, and they look the same size to us. You come back in a minute, Peter. You see, at this scale, it makes me feel pretty tiny. At this scale and the size of this marble, humans would be smaller than a speck of dust. We would be 0.005 millimeters at this scale. We are incredibly tiny in the existence of creation. It is no wonder that David, when he's writing the Psalms and writing poems and writing songs, that he writes this in Psalm 8. He says, when I consider your heavens, the work of your fingers, the moon and the stars which you have set in place, what is mankind? That's the who am I? I feel so tiny. In fact, James, the brother of Jesus, he said this. He said, what is your life? You are a mist that appears for a little while and then vanishes. We're tiny. We are so small. And I think the lyric in this song, Who Am I, is there to remind us that we are so small, that we are tiny, that it's almost to right-size ourselves in the universe and in all of creation. And I easily get above my station. It's really easy for me to think that the sun revolves around me because we say, oh, the sun's moved in the sky. No, it didn't. We rotated on our tiny little ball in the sky and we moved a little bit, and it appears that the sun moves. The Tudors believed that the sun was orbiting the earth because we regularly think that it's the sun going around us. It's easy to do that, isn't it, and get ahead of ourselves. And I think spiritually we can allow eclipses to happen. We can allow things and circumstances to cloud and eclipse our view of God. And so when we get hurt and pain and disappointment and circumstances get tough, we allow it to block our view of God. If we can get it to focus there. We allow it to cloud our view. We allow our circumstances to appear like they're the same size as God. And I'm not trying to minimize your pain and your suffering and what you're going through, because if you look up in the night sky, the moon is pretty big. But by comparison to God, God is big enough to carry you. And the other thing, oh, he's gone, it's fine. The other thing is we sometimes allow our own success and our own ego to eclipse the sun and to get in the way and eclipse our view of God. And we easily think, do you know what? I don't need God because I've got all the tools I need to live my life. And we allow circumstances and our ego and our own success to eclipse God. But an eclipse doesn't make the sun smaller. It just changes what I can see. And maybe it's a little bit dark for you in your life. Don't let it stay in totality. You know, we are a speck of dust in comparison to the universe. We are tiny. A song like this, it right-sizes us, and I think it right-sizes God. When we sing, Who Am I? We are putting things in their right space in the universe. We are tiny, but we are not insignificant. We are not insignificant. David, we sing those words, Who am I that you keep me on your mind? And David, when he wrote that psalm in Psalm 8, he didn't stop there. So he said, as we read before, when I consider your heavens, the work of your fingers, the moon and the stars, which you have set in place, what is mankind? He goes on to say that you are mindful of them. Human beings, that you care for them. You have made them a little lower than the angels and have crowned them with glory and honor. The God that is huge, that is gigantic, keeps you on his mind. He is mindful of you. He has crowned you with glory and honor. I'm pretty rubbish at keeping people on my mind. I'm a lot like a bit of a out of sight, out of mind. I don't easily miss people. In fact, during COVID, during the lockdowns, I was one of the people that I was like, I'm not really missing anyone. I'm quite happy. I know it's a terrible thing for someone to say with pastor in their title, but I'm not good at keeping people on my mind. Like, I have to have systems to remind myself to think of people or remind myself to pray for people, and that's okay because that's the way God made me. But thankfully, God's not like me. You see, I forget people, but God doesn't. I can get distracted and focus on the things and focus on my own little world, but God does not get distracted. I can lose track, but God does not. It blows my tiny little mind that the God who can make a solar eclipse happen in the way that it does keeps me on his mind, is intimately aware of me. He's not just aware of humanity as a whole, he's aware of you as an individual. And this isn't the only time a theme like this pops up. It comes up again and again throughout the Bible. Isaiah tells us that God says, "See, I have engraved you on the palms of my hands." Jesus himself, he said this, "Indeed, the very hairs of your head are all numbered." I hope that's more meaningful for some of you than it is for me. Because for me, it's like 0. It's not exactly an iPhone background for me. But God knows the intimate details of your life. You are on the mind of God. The God who made the sun and the moon, he knows you. He sees you. He knows what you're carrying. He knows what nobody else knows. God hasn't forgotten you. And maybe you do feel forgotten about. Maybe when I'm talking about feeling like a speck of dust and feeling tiny, you were a bit like, yep, that's my life. You are not insignificant. You are not forgotten about. You are important. And I want to tell you about something that some of you may well be aware of, but I doubt everybody will be. And I want to tell you about something called laminin. Now, laminin, I want to get this right, laminin is a protein molecule. And it is a molecule that we all have, and it's specifically a cell adhesion molecule. And what it does is it tells other cells what to do. It's organized in a certain way that it tells other cells what to do. And this specific protein, it kind of holds things together. It glues things together. It's the glue that runs through your entire body, this one specific protein. It's like it keeps your skin on. It keeps your organs in place. We all have in our body. It's a cell adhesion molecule that is the glue that holds us together as humans. And when you look at the structure and the DNA structure of the protein cell laminin, you get this. And you look at it under a microscope, and you get this. And then we read what Paul wrote in Colossians. He is before all things, and in him all things hold together. The God who created the sun and the moon and the stars put the sign of the cross through your body that holds you together. The God of the universe is involved in the tiny details of your life, in the tiny details of your existence that 2 minutes ago you didn't even know existed. He holds you together. The God who keeps you on his mind, he has gone to extraordinary lengths to make a way for you. And he's coded our entire body with what he did for us. And that's why we can sing the lines in the song, God, I'm just grateful for you. Chandler Moore, the writer of the song, in an interview, he said this about writing it. He said, this song helps me set my eyes on the list of reasons I have to be grateful. God has been so good. And in the midst of fires and trials and struggles and battles, I still have a reason to be grateful. And this is that song. And I think that's how we prevent our circumstances eclipsing our view of God, is by staying thankful, staying in an attitude of gratitude. I find this song and cultivating that attitude of gratitude, it stops me from feeling entitled. When I feel entitled, it helps me to sing this song because I remind myself, who am I? Yeah, God, you keep me on your mind. I am grateful for all that you have done for me. And I think if you've been around church a little while, it can become easy to become over-familiar with God. I think it can become easy to become over-familiar with the message of Jesus and the good news of Jesus. In fact, I remember, I'm a church boy. I've been around church my entire life. I remember as a teenager talking to my youth leader and saying, is Jesus not going to do anything different other than this cross thing? Because that's all we ever sing about. Thankfully, my youth leader was really gracious with me. But even if you've been around, maybe it's 2 or 3 years since you've been baptized and you're used to hearing the message of Jesus, it becomes easy to be over familiar with it. And it's not just us in this day and age. In the Old Testament, before Jesus was on the earth, there's this thing called the Ark of the Covenant. And the Ark of the Covenant was this huge box that the Israelites, God's people, would carry around. And it was literally the presence of God on earth. And it was this incredible thing that was incredibly holy, and there was all these kind of rules around it. And they would find that they would take the Ark of the Covenant with them, they would go into battle, and God would be with them. And what happened over time is the Israelites became complacent about it. And they became over familiar with it. And it says in 1 Samuel 4 that they're in the midst of this huge battle, and they hadn't taken the Ark of the Covenant, and they're losing the battle. And they almost say words to the effect of, go and get the Ark of the Covenant, because then we'll win. And all of a sudden, the presence of God on earth has become like a good luck charm to them. And I think we can easily get like that. We can easily become over familiar, that we turn up to church on a Sunday or whatever, but really the only time we ever reach out to God is when we're in trouble. And we're going, God, I need this job. Can you help me get it? God, I need this thing to happen. Can you help me get it? God, I need this, I need that. And our relationship with God can become transactional rather than relational. Because that is what happened for the Israelites. And they take the Ark of the Covenant into battle. They don't win. 30,000 people are killed. It all goes wrong. And the Ark of the Covenant is captured by the Philistines. It's a real disaster. And then what happens is a load of stuff. The Philistines can't really handle having the Ark. It's really interesting what happens, but I haven't got time to explain it. And then they send the Ark back, and the Israelites don't quite know what to do with it. And so they put it in the house of Abinadab, and it lives there for 20 years, kind of dormant. And Israel goes on with the rest of its life. And they go on with daily life, and it's like, yeah, the presence of God on earth is just down the road in someone's house and just left there. And I think we can allow the presence of God in our life. If you've been a Christian a little while, we can just easily coast through and not acknowledge and lose the amazement of who God is. And so what I want to challenge us to do is, how easy is it for us to do the same when God is present in our life? God is there. We know he keeps us on his mind, but we stay comfortable living as though he's not really there. I think some of us need to discover God. I think there's some of us who need to rediscover God. And I think rediscovering God starts with being thankful and grateful. Because the good news of Jesus is good news. It is outrageously good news. It is such good news that you should be tempted to take advantage of it. It should sound too good to be true. And in the verses of this song, it sums it up so brilliantly when we sing, there was no way until you made one. The only way to God the Father is through Jesus. The God who became smaller than a speck of dust so that we could know him. Who died on a cross that's written through our bodies that holds us together. There was no way. We could not get to God by human effort. God became a speck of dust so that we could know him. You and I were lost, and there was no way until you made one. Grace upon grace, hallelujah. Grace upon grace, chance after chance, time after time after time. I get it wrong, I mess up, I do things and I say things and I think things that I know I shouldn't, and time after time after time again, God pours out his goodness on me. God gives us chance after chance after chance. Sometimes I stand on this stage and I think, I'm just a pleb from Liverpool, I don't know what I'm doing. And God gives the opportunity. God pours out grace upon grace upon grace on us. Listen, if you want to do something meaningful with your life, then I want to suggest you can surrender it to Jesus discover his purpose and meaning for your life, and you'll understand what grace upon grace means. Because it could say mercy upon mercy. Mercy is great. That's not getting what we deserve. But grace is getting what we don't deserve. And he pours it out again and again and again for us. And it's this sense of, even though I don't deserve it, you did it. Even though I couldn't earn it, you give it. There is nothing that you could ever do to earn the love of God. You could turn up every single week to church and it doesn't earn the love of God. You can come to all 3 services if you want, it doesn't earn the love of God. You can have the longest running streak on YouVersion the world has ever known. It doesn't make God love you anymore. God doesn't love you because of the things that you do. God doesn't love you because you serve on the dream team. God doesn't love you because you invite 50 people to Christmas this year. God doesn't love you because you do things. God loves you because you are his child and he keeps you on his mind. Even though you don't deserve it, he gives it. Even though we don't deserve to be given chance after chance, he gives it to us. If the good news of Jesus sounds too good to be true, there's a good chance we're getting it right. And the first time I heard this song live, God, I'm just grateful. We were at a conference in May, and it was a great opportunity for me. You know, often on a Sunday, I've got a lot going through my mind. It can be quite difficult to be fully focused on Jesus. There's a lot of things to think about. But at this conference, I was able to just be fully focused on God and really met with Jesus. Like for me, one of the highlights of the conference was being able to be present and meet with Jesus in the worship. And we sang that song and it was powerful and it really rammed home to me some of the meanings that I'd heard when I'd heard it on a playlist. Somehow it's different when you hear it live, isn't it? And at the same conference, we sang a song called Shout to the Lord, a song that was written in 1993 when I was 7. And like I said earlier, I'm a church boy. I've sung that song for decades in lots of different settings and scenarios, in the highs and the lows of life. I love that song. It's become a bit of an anthem in my journey with Jesus. And I'm at this conference and I'm a mess because I'm taking a moment to reflect and remember and be grateful for the things that God has done in my life. And there's a line in God, I'm just grateful for you, that really ran that home for me. And it says, all my life, you've been right here by my side. And so life might be pretty hard right now. You should know that God is right by your side. The God who made the sun and the moon and the stars, he is right there with you. And I think there's 3 easy takeaways from today. In the highs and lows of life, the first thing that we can do is remember how big God is. We remember, who am I? We need to right-size ourselves. The second thing that we need to do is remember how closely he sees you. He knows you intimately. He's interested in the stuff that maybe nobody else is interested in you. He keeps you on his mind. And number 3, remember what he's done. Be thankful. Cultivate an attitude of gratitude in your life, that you can be grateful for what he's done. And so we're going to sing that song together. And so I want to invite you to stand to your feet. And before we do sing it, one more sciencey thing on eclipses. You see, we know that the next solar eclipse that's going to occur in the UK is in 2050. Some of us will be around then, some of us won't. But because of the maths and the science and the measurements and all that kind of stuff, they can predict that. They can say it's going to happen then. They can also work it backwards. And they work it backwards and they line it up with historical records of eclipses. And there's not just solar eclipses that happen, there's lunar eclipses. In fact, there was a lunar eclipse this week in the UK, but we couldn't see it because of the clouds and the storms. But basically, it's when the Earth blocks the sun's light to the moon, and the moon goes like a blood red colour. And they've tracked all of these eclipses back in time, and they've worked out when they would have been visible and where on the planet they would have been visible. And they found that there was a lunar eclipse visible in Jerusalem on Friday, the 3rd of April in 33 AD. Isn't that incredible? One of the predicted historical dates for the death of Jesus. The God who made the sun and the moon and the stars. The God who put the moon and the sun in perfect position so that there would be eclipses for us to marvel at. The God who is ginormous. He keeps you on his mind. He knows the intimate details of your life. He pours out grace upon grace on you. He gives you it even though you don't deserve it. Even though we couldn't earn it, he gives it to us. And so what else can we do but sing, God, I'm just grateful for you.
There was no way until you made one. Grace upon grace,